Hello and welcome. We are Cypher's Fire, minus Tyler plus Jamie, and we are here to talk to you about our new album, We Three: A Sci-Fi Christmas. Woo, woo, woo. This is our track by track of the album. We're excited to give you our thoughts on all these tracks. We had a heck of a good time making this album over the past 6-7 months. It's been a long process. And one of the challenges of this whole album, at least the 12 stocking stuffers as we called them, was doing 3-part harmony with no multiple trackings, no additional things other than a few percussion instruments, and making it seem full and effective, but still keeping within our 1.5 to 2 minutes tops range in all these songs. So yeah, you don't have time for a long intro or an extended ending or whatever. It's just like hit the song, boom, boom, on the next thing, which was a really interesting challenge overall for the project.
I mean, I gotta say, you're not even paying me to say this, but you did a heck of a job. Chris did all of the arrangements on the album. Of course, we had some collaborations here, but he's the driving force between all of that here. And one of the things that impresses me so much about your arrangements is how you're able to make each note matter. Like, there are no insignificant notes. Not to say that that is prevalent in a lot of music, but sometimes, especially when you get into 4 or 5 parts and you're getting into repetitive verses and choruses there, inevitably you're hearing the same theme over and over again. And again, not a bad thing. All I'm saying is that when you reduce it down to just, again, that 1.5 to 2 minutes, 3 parts, every note has to count, and you nailed it. Thank you. It's got to be familiar enough, but also differentiated to stand alone. We'll get into a couple of these here because I've known Chris for a long time, and there was one arrangement on here that we'll get to, and then I heard that I was like, oh, that is a Chris Ruff arrangement.
I think I know which one you're talking
branded.
about.
So let's dive in.
Start. Okay, guys, we're gonna start with number 1.
Whoa! Okay, I like the way she runs things.
I heard the bells on Christmas Day.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about that.
So I heard the bells. The first time I even heard this song was one of my inspirational groups, Rockapella. They were the big deal in the 90s, War in the World, Carmen Sandiego, that group. And they had done a Christmas album around 2000. And their first track was I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day. It starts off just with Tyler. I heard the bells on Christmas Day. And it's a nice build at that point. Then you come in, and then I come in 3-part harmony, and then there's the key change with the bass kicking in, the snaps to flush it out. It's just a great opening track for the album.
Yeah, and I love the dual feel to it there. It starts off rather traditional, and then almost goes into a little bit of an R&B feel.
Yeah, a little funky to it.
Second verse there, yeah, it's got just an incredible, catchy, inviting sound to it that sets the tone for the album really well, I think.
Yeah, I think it was an easy choice to make this track 1.
It was, yeah. Chris and I, oftentimes when it gets to this level here of refining the CD, we track out all the songs, and then you got to figure out, okay, what order are we going to put them in? And Chris put together a list independently. I put together a list independently, and I think there was maybe 2 songs that had been flipped on our list there. So it was kind of fun to watch, our converging ideas there and be on the same page with that there. But yeah, this was the easy choice. It's a very sci-fi sound.
Yeah.
Right from the start.
Yeah.
I think.
Nice.
Love it.
Yeah.
Let's go on to Oh Come All Ye Faithful.
Oh yeah.
I love having Jamie here.
One of my favorites. So actually here, as I said before, Chris takes care of all of our arrangements. He's again the driving force behind this. But originally, when we were doing the album, I wanted to pitch in as best I could, and so unbeknownst to Chris, I started off and I was like, "Hey, I'll take care of. I'll come all you."
This was like in May or something too. And you sent me.
I did.
Worse of it.
And this was one of the only times where
we hadn't started anything yet.
Where I just kind of sat down because Chris goes, "Oh, this is one of my favorites. I'm going to take this one," and I was like, a little on the side of, all right, fine, dude, what are you going to do? And then I heard Chris's arrangement. I was like, all right, yeah, I see why Chris is going to take this.
Okay,
this
fine. But I love that you had done your version of it because it inspired me. Like, okay, I actually have to get going on this now. Because I heard yours, like, oh no, I want to do this differently.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta do it now. And the next thing I know, I had it done, and then like, okay, well, it's time to actually get going on this.
Yeah, yeah.
So it started the whole process.
Well, and what I liked about yours here, especially that you did with this arrangement, is you made it so inviting. Like, listen to the song, "Oh Come All Ye Faithful." It's a call to action, And the approach that I had taken here in this one was a little more, soft and reserved and heartfelt and introspective. Whereas then, as soon as I heard yours, it was like, no, "Oh Come All Ye Faithful." Like, it was great. It was again just this perfect energy to the song, and I stand by the one that I did. It would be fine in a different context, but for what we're doing here, no, it was you nailed it again.
Yeah, thank
It was the perfect approach.
I like too. One of the things that we decided after reviewing Open Road and going to this project is we wanted to change up the leads a little bit more. We love Tyler,
yeah.
of course, but like let's involve you and I more often. And so, this Heard the Bells, we started with Tyler, but Come All Ye Faithful, you and I switch off on the lead on this too. And I like that as a theme throughout the album. It's much more balanced for all those parts.
Yeah, say the Rascal Flat approach, right? Gary is primarily singing all the leads on that one. And I think that's when we first started out with Cypress Fire. It makes sense for Tyler that he's an incredible lead, an incredible soloist, wonderful musician, and very good at storytelling here. And so for those original songs, I think it totally fits. For something like a Christmas album, though, it is much more of a group dynamic. And so being able to share that around, I think it's kind of fun to be able to show off the different nuances of the group as well.
Yeah, and you got, from an outsider's perspective, listening to each of your voices, you're so different from each other, and the colors of their voices are so different. And when you come together, it creates such a beautiful harmony. And it's so nice to hear, especially the Christmas tunes, just like you were saying, each of your individual tones shine. I think it's super important for an album like this.
Yeah, and
So
from
I'm
the
happy
arranging
with that.
standpoint, knowing where each of our voices sits also determines the nature of where the arrangements go and how
Yeah.
things play out. So that definitely.
There's another pitfall. This is turning into an a cappella seminar here. At this point. When you're arranging, you arrange for the voices that you have, not the ones that you wish you had. And oftentimes that's something that I think gets lost. At least, especially at the collegiate level. I remember back when I was doing arrangements, I'm like, this would sound so good. And like, Jeff, that's a high D. Like, we don't have anybody who can hit that, but it sounds so good. Listen to the MIDI. It doesn't really work that way. You got to arrange for the
really
voices
thought
that you
about
have.
that.
Yeah.
And just 3 voices for the most part.
Three voices.
So,
Yeah.
shall we?
Yeah, moving on, yeah.
Moving on. Deck the Hall.
This is a Chris Rupp arrangement. Oh my gosh! I started back singing with Chris back in 2007, and I keep going back to your arrangement of, I think it was Spellbound. Is that the name?
That was
of the
the
song?
original song.
That was the original
Yes.
song.
Yeah, Spellbound.
And it's like,
something like that.
it's just like, it's got this like edgy vibe that never quite resolves to it there. Anyway, it's a very hallmark Chris Rupp arrangement from style, and that's exactly what Deck the Halls is. I can't wait for you to hear this one. It's unique and fun and catchy and just like, I don't know, a cool vibe.
We were just talking, I was showing Jamie earlier the track, and we were saying like it feels like a Disney Channel song or something.
yeah.
Like, it'd be
Yeah.
like it's part of the Disney Christmas special.
Yeah,
It has that,
for sure.
not in a bad way, like, oh yeah, that
Yeah.
fits that.
Yeah, it's
And this one-
cheeky.
Yeah, this one was kind of fun too because I actually sang the bass part for a lot of the song, which for most of the tracks I don't do that. This one I felt like it fit with the tambourine going as well.
Yeah,
Um,
I love it.
yeah, fun. Yeah.
It's so cute. I love that.
So cute.
Coventry Carol.
Track 4,
Sounds like a
Haunting.
nice name.
Yeah,
Another one that I was introduced from an acapella group back in the day. Sing Off Season 2, they did a Christmas special of all these different tracks, and one of the groups on the album did Coventry Carol. I had never heard it before at that point. I don't think you'd heard it either, had you?
no, I heard it. I didn't know what it was called.
Oh, okay.
So you sent me over the title of it. I'm like, Coventry Carol. I'm not familiar with that one. But then I heard it and I said, oh wait, yeah.
Yeah, I love this. It's so haunting.
Haunting is the perfect term for it there.
But yeah, with fun things in this one, some neat little interludes I put in there. I know I passed the solo around to all 3 of us in this one too, as the story gets told. I know my verse is about Herod killing the babies or something, and I really made that one kind of off kilter and kind of unsettled, and how the background parts went in that, and then Tyler's is prettier because we're coming back around, and I really love how this one turned out.
Yeah, the themes of it are quite
Okay.
The next.
Yeah.
A Little Town of Bethlehem
Ooh.
featuring a very special.
Oh, yeah.
Special
feature.
guest.
This was cool.
Tell us about
Yeah.
that.
Tyler's son is named Lincoln, and there's a interlude to this song where we wanted to.
Well, let me before we get to that. So I arranged the song. I did verse 1, I did verse 2. I'm like, it's too short. This is like in a minute 10. I need something to get between them. So I put in a little interlude thing. It would have been just a nice little 15 seconds of notes. But then we all kind of felt it's kind of missing something there. It needs something more. And I think I suggested we should do a voiceover. And then I don't know if you suggested Lincoln or if someone else did.
Well, we heard you put the voice over.
I did put it on
just
this,
sort of just the story of the little town of
I
Bethlehem.
think it's the
there,
Luke
right?
chapter or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we were just chatting around. It was like, what if we had Lincoln sit in with this? I think somebody said, well, what if we should have a child do it? And then the natural next step was, oh man, cool. So you got a very proud father over there in Tyler who's getting to be on a track with his son.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say it's their favorite track. One of
Is
their
that right?
favorite- Yeah.
Well, I will say, the
special.
first time that I heard it, I teared up a little bit.
Aw.
Just knowing how much that meant to Tyler, especially, to be able to do something like this with his son. And also, Lincoln just nails it. did
He
an awesome
nails
job.
it. When you played it for me in the car and listening to his speaking voice,
Yeah.
oh,
Perfect.
like
Should
he's done
mention-
this before.
Yeah, Tyler's not here yet. He's flying in tonight. That's why he's not part of this.
Yeah.
With Lincoln.
With Lincoln,
That's
yeah.
right.
For us to film the video tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Of this song,
So good. Is it too soon to move on to the next?
yeah. No, I think we can keep going. That's a little town. That's the gist of it, yeah.
Hark the Herald Angels Sing.
Where this started.
The one that started.
So as Jeff said, last year, I don't know, November time or something, thinking let's do something with Cypress Fire to make a Christmas thing. I was trying to figure something Christmas time, theme-wise. And always loved this song. It's not one of your favorites in general.
It is not one of my favorite Christmas carols, no. And I'm not quite sure why. I don't have anything necessarily against it. It's just it wouldn't be in one of my top, I don't know, my top 10. But again, like that being said, I also can wholly appreciate exactly what you did with this in terms of quality. You made me kind of fall in love with the song just a little bit more because of how, I don't know, you surprised me with this arrangement on like 6 different occasions where you did a twist of the chord that I wasn't expecting and maybe just go, okay, that's interesting. That's great. I like this. So
Yeah, with just 3 parts, it still fills it
Yeah.
out. And this is the only one of these we performed live so far.
Oh yeah, that's true.
We had our recent show in Mankato, my hometown, back in September. We also did Hark the Herald live, 3 of us just straight up sang it. And it went pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
And that's great. You were telling me that the vocals aren't stacked. They're not. It's just the 3 vocals. So all this stuff you can do
It all is theoretically, yeah,
Completely
performable.
live.
Yeah.
just the way it sounds in the album.
Just exactly the way it sounds on the album.
Perfect, this is perfect. And this was fun to shoot that video too because we were in a somewhat public area. So we had people, every take we did, we'd get a little crowd of like
Yeah.
10, 15 people that are like, oh wow, that's awesome. And
just
they move on and like, we're not actually a show right now, I'm sure.
Right, that we
Guerrilla
weren't
marketing.
actually singing right there.
Yeah. We're just singing along with the track.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then it just took off and it just started spreading on Facebook especially. And it's like, wow, okay, this
Yeah.
is successful. 2 million views.
It's a lot.
That's pretty cool.
And so hopefully these tracks this year also do this well. We'll find out.
Yeah.
And then that's when we said, this would be our next project, is a Christmas album. And then we sat on it for 6 months until Jeff did Come Away Faithful and got the button gear.
Yep. Lit that fire.
I put out a terrible arrangement that Chris was like, oh,
It's like call to action. All right, let's go to Silent Night.
hey, classic.
Classic. This song I've arranged 4 or 5 times now for Acapella Games. I did it several times with Home Free, several times with Home Free. And I did one with 7th Ave. I did one now with us.
Yep.
So
Well,
I've
so-
run with this one.
A cool thing about this one is that for our Kickstarter supporters, we have had
The top level of
the
them,
top
yeah.
level, a couple of our top contributors there who have actually gotten to sing with us on this particular track. Now, Chris had to rearrange it just a little bit there to make it 4-part instead of just the 3. But yeah, it's been a cool little I don't know,
Bonus thing,
bonus.
yeah. They
Gift.
and it worked out that the 2 people that ended up doing that also happened to be going through Orlando at the time, so we were able to actually have them come to my studio and record them.
Yeah.
And great experience. They both loved it.
Yeah,
Loved it to death.
we did too. So we'll look for that. We'll release those as kind of like the bonuses on our socials as well.
If they want to, I want us to.
That's true.
It's up to them.
We'll ask them. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
That's so cool.
I'm excited for this one too. I think it does play well, especially well as a 3-part song.
Yeah. It's so simple and pure.
Yeah.
It's this is one of my favorite Christmas carols.
Growing up in church, part of the music program, Easter and Christmas were big times for us. So we would do 7 or 8 services for the day. It was a long day, and every one of them had Silent Night at the end.
Yeah,
so by the time you get to the 7th service of singing Silent Night, you're just
Yeah.
exhausted and dead. So in a way, like I have a trauma from Silent Night.
And you go
Well,
ancient.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, well then on the flip side, a positive story with that there.
Okay.
So when I was growing up there, my grandmother was a singer, and so whenever we would be in service together and around Christmas time and Silent Night would come on, she would always whisper to me so nobody else could hear. She's like, I'll sing the alto part. You sing the tenor, and so we would harmonize on Silent Night together. And this became especially special in her later years, where she lost the ability to produce words, but she could hum. And she kept, and so I remember one Christmas when that first happened there, and I realized that she couldn't produce the words anymore, but she was still humming, and it took everything in my power to be able to make it through and still harmonize with her and have that memory. And it's one of my favorite memories.
Yeah, that's a much more positive story than mine.
You know, it's all about just balance.
Wow. My knees and my shoulders got chills.
No, yeah.
It's very specific.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. And music that's a theme that it really sticks with you long past where other things maybe don't as much.
It becomes another way of communication and connection, I think. Not to get off topic, because obviously it's the track by track is our focus, but Cypress Fire has our outreach program called Fusion, where we use the vehicle of music to teach empathy and self-confidence and some of these other higher level, more intricate interpersonal aspects of humanity. But again, music becomes that vehicle, and I think that's something as well that none of us take for granted, is just the power and the privilege of being able to produce music like this.
All right, next song. O Come, Emmanuel.
Ooh, this was a fun one.
Yes.
This is getting a lot of good chatter as well from our
Yeah, I've
fans.
had so many people surprised at the roles that we played in this song.
It is. We switched it up a little bit.
We
here.
did. So I always make the demos for these songs, and when I did my demo, I sing all the parts. And I think Jeff said, I really like how you sound on that opening verse. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I guess. And he said,
Awesome.
I think you should sing that, and I think I should sing the bass part.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What?
Fire, bass fire. Just listening to it, I'm like,
Yeah.
it sounds so nice in your range.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fun.
Listen to
It was
bass.
cool. Yeah. It's this is kind of case in point where we all just changed up the roles a little bit there. So.
I know we also planned a lot of secrets in how we do these recordings, of course, to sing the low bass stuff. I think you came up right away in the morning, right?
did.
Yep.
Yep.
First thing
That's
in the
the way to
morning.
do it.
Yep.
Let's get those low notes.
Get a
as we
little bit
can.
extra resonance there. Yeah. But it was.
And then this was fun too, putting in the body percussion.
Yeah.
I really like this one.
'Cause I wanted, one of my acapella friends from Seattle, he heard this and said, I hate O Come, Emmanuel. I love your version. I'm so about it. Like,
yeah.
that's a good sign. Huh?
Yeah.
That rhythm I wanted to make for this one, instead of just O come, Emmanuel. Come, just, I love that energy.
got a drive to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but we're trying to make that work because we didn't want to put a lot of percussion in. And it's like, well, this is what I'm feeling. Can I record this? And so I just get the mic real close to me.
It's awesome.
And then
Feels
whatever I can
good.
do to try to mix it to make it work as well. So
Yeah.
it was fun that it pulled off. And then I think both of us, we love the ending I did for that song too.
Yes.
The little interlude, the
Because
transition.
again, it kind of goes back to that traditional approach to the song, which I thought was a nice little nod to how you're mostly used to hearing the song. So again, it's a nice little surprise, something that's unexpected. but
Yeah.
delightful.
Woohoo! Love that track.
Love that one. Angels from the Realm of Glory.
Oh,
I was surprised that you knew this one. We were talking about it. Yeah, you did, because Jamie has a Jewish background, so she doesn't know a lot of the traditional Christmas songs. But I played this, and I said, you don't know this one, right? Like, I do know this one. She's probably singing in choir at school or something,
yes,
right?
yes,
yeah.
Yes. We sang a lot of Christmas songs in high school.
Yeah.
Choir.
yeah.
So
Well,
I do.
this one, there's two versions of
There is.
Angels from the Realms, yeah. And I think when you were first bringing it up there, you know, I was familiar with one, and this sounds, you know, in so many ways familiar to me. It's the
one I like.
that
Yeah. That's why I chose to do it. Yeah.
But what was it? Tyler heard the other one. He was like, "This, I don't like this one at all." Or somebody did, and like, no, you got the wrong.
We're not going to do that one. We're going to do this
Check
one.
this.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do the other version. I just don't find it as interesting myself.
Yeah, this one's. Yeah.
And this one, another one like the earlier one, where just doing the two verses was kind of short, so I needed to add something on. So I took the glow from Deck the Hall, not Deck the Hall, Ding Dong Merrily and High, that interlude of the glow is from that.
Which, interestingly enough, fits the song because
does.
it goes with the theme of it so seamlessly there.
So that was our intro, and that's tough because it's really long lines. We had to do multiple
yeah.
takes for all of us to.
Tank up.
Okay, here we go to get that whole line in.
But also, I really enjoy what you did there with, you know, traditionally this is a major mode song, but you flipped it up second verse.
Second verse, yeah, I went
to
minor.
make it minor again, which is unexpected but delightful. So
And it's tricky. It's sometimes making a song minor is almost blasé, or it's like, okay, well, that's what you chose to do. That's what everyone does, that kind of thing. But I felt this one worked really well, and then coming out of it worked really well. The transition.
well, especially because the first word of the second verse is sinners. So
I chose that verse.
Did- yes.
yes, because that's not one of the. It's like the fourth verse or something.
Yeah.
And I went right to that one because that has the evil vibe to it.
yeah, it does. But again, nice line.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I like how one turned out. We'll save that one for a big cathedral church to.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'll be great. All right, first Noel. The first Noel.
So ironically, this one's "O Come Ye Faithful" has me starting and you finishing. For this one, I flipped it. You started and I did the second verse, just because I don't
Yeah.
know. I wasn't sure.
Well, and also at one point, you know, Chris texts our group chat. This was one of the last ones that you arranged.
I think it was toward the end of the
And by this point in time, you know, Chris's creative juices were spent on this, and he's like, "It is so hard to make First Noel sound interesting. I don't know what to do."
I did say that. That's right.
Hang in there, big cat. You got this.
Yeah.
I kind of remember that now. That does sound familiar. Oh yeah, I did struggle with this one.
Oh yeah.
And this song in particular is difficult to work with. Just the nature of the chords and the melody line. It's just, it is what it is. So it was a fun challenge to make it more interesting. And I did feel confident that I got there by the end. I really like the transition into the key change on this, how that played out, where we each line answer to transition to the key change.
Yeah.
That worked out well for me. And then Tyler loved the ending.
15
Yes.
songs. 15, right?
Yeah. So
That's a lot.
we started with the original concept for the album was we were going to name it Stocking Stuffers, because, you know, our sci-fi verse and chorus, it's not, we don't, you know,
not the
there's songs
full
we don't
thing.
consider it the full song, right? Because it's not. And so we thought it was, you know, kind of on brand for the holidays there to call them stocking stuffers. 'Cause not full gifts, they're stocking stuffers. And so, of course, then 12 stocking stuffers of Christmas. So that's how the first 12 came to be. But then we recognized we had some other opportunities and we wanted to add some full bonus
I also
gifts.
felt 22 minutes was not long enough for an album. So we gotta add some more songs, Jeff. We gotta.
So we had some bonus gifts as well. That, yeah, well,
We're coming to. But anyway, first Noel. Was there anything else you want to say?
well, just again, like you threw in a couple unexpected chord changes there that, you know, I've shared the album, you know, with so many people, but particularly this one stands out to those who are more musically inclined in general. Though the almost universal response when we get to those couple little tweaks is, "Oh, I like
Oh
that."
yeah.
Yeah.
I know exactly the spot to talk. At the end of each verse is
Yeah,
that.
but it goes back to what you were saying, where, you know, you're so used to hearing a version of the first Noel, you know, that anything that is I don't know, somehow appropriate but also different is remarkable. You know, so.
And it has to be that right choice.
Yeah, you can't just
That's
do it to
tough
do it.
to
It's
do.
got to have a reason
Yeah.
and direction for it.
Yep. Agreed.
Paid off because of great.
Thank you.
We Three Kings.
This song is awesome.
So I can't take full credit for this one. One of my acapella inspirations was the Blenders, Darren Rust, and they had done a version of We Three Kings that kind of was a similar vibe to this years ago. And I always thought this was just the best way you could do this song. They just crushed it. And when we first started this project, We Three Kings was on the list, and Jeff really wanted to do
All
the
right,
song.
so listen. I'm hoping that somebody out there has heard of the California Raisins, all right? And I was introduced to California Raisins through a Christmas special called Claymation Christmas, and they sing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and, real cool R&B vibe to it. It's awesome. But one of the other tracks that's featured in this version of Claymation Christmas is We Three Kings. And it's a duet between two trios. It's the Three Kings singing very traditional, We Three Kings of Orient are. And then it goes over to their camels. Stick with me here. Who go into like an R&B. Star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceed. I love it. So that was my version of We Three Kings. And
And
so
if you watch it, you will have nightmares.
listen, it's a classic for me.
I can't wait to show it to you after.
I love it. And so this is yet another one that I took a crack at arranging. And Chris goes,
I can't.
oh, no.
So he showed it to me. We talked through it, and I said, okay, I'm gonna try. But I have the Blenders version in my head, which is so good.
Yeah.
I said, no, I'm gonna try because I wanna give it the best I could here. And I did a little bit. And I eventually said to you, like, I can't do it. So you arrange it because I cannot do it. And then you did it, and I heard it, like, okay. I don't want to, put you down or anything, but just listen to the Blenders version. And then you listen to it and you're like, oh, crap. Damn it, you're right.
The number of times where I say something like confidently and then Chris says something else and I just have to begrudgingly just go, yeah, I know he's right. I just not getting that satisfaction. It happens often. But this was it, and I'm so glad it happened this way. When you hear this, it's a powerful, big, large, just robust sound. And it's a stark contrast to anything else that we do on the album. I think this is the song that people that I've shared it with here, and they have the response at the end, just like, oh, I wanted more. I wanted more of that.
Yeah.
And that's again kind of a cool place to be.
Yeah, it is. It's so neat to just the chord changes that Darren had done with his version of it. We did a lot of that. I mean, I do make it my own, its own way, but especially that bridge, the Star of Wonders thing, is kind of what the Blenders did. And the drum thing was really fun to put in. That was the only one where I did full on real drums. Boom, 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 boom. 'Cause it just adds so much to it.
It's so powerful. It's so rich. Yeah.
Yeah, I love how this one turned out.
So that's my favorite song on the album, if you couldn't tell.
And it was the inspo for the title.
Yeah,
Kind of was,
Yeah,
yeah.
we changed it up a little bit there.
Yeah.
'Cause we originally went with stocking stuffers, but we're trying to do the
Wrong,
artwork, and
right.
it's like it just didn't quite capture the sentiment of what we wanted to do. It seemed a little too tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
And so we bounced back and forth with some different ideas, but yeah.
Did you come up with We Three?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a team effort here.
I remember the group chat
Oh,
Yeah.
up there. I
So
read.
anyway, we just threw it up there. We had like 10 different ideas, and
That was the one.
All right, the last of the stocking stuffers.
What child is this?
Yeah, this is the only one this is just me, which I was from my lead in this one. And this is one that I had already done with Home Free 6-7 years ago, so it was a special one for me to do that one, so with the 6 of us for that. And so coming back to this one, and again figuring out how to make it work with just the 3 of us. And a lot of it does work really well. Just the way What Child Is This, the melody and the chord structure as a straight 3-part harmony works really well. So that was easy to arrange that part. But then coming through the middle section was the challenging one of this one. So I kind of went, in my head it's sort of like a Renaissance vibe sound to it, where the background parts play out. And my original version of the melody was this sort of fluty trumpet thing that Jeff hated.
fugal horn. It wanted to be a fugal horn, and I said,
Can't do this, can't do it.
maybe we don't.
So then I try to go more of like a boy soprano choir sound that works a little bit better.
Yeah. No, it's appropriate. It's a really nice cap.
Yeah, I think it does. It does. I didn't have an obvious closer to the album as I went through it, but I felt this was a good choice for this section.
Well, and you do get a chance to show off a little bit there. I know that wasn't necessarily your goal with it there, but I'll give you those props there. You know, in terms of arranging in straight counter melodies.
Oh yeah, that middle section has a lot of
Yep.
counterpoint going on.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's again really well done. Another just delight and a depth to the album that wasn't there yet. You know, and being able to put that stamp on it at the end, I think was good for the positioning of that song as well. I don't think it would have worked as well for the flow of the album if it was like, say, track number 3. I think it's really nice where it is.
Especially coming off of We Three Kings.
Yeah.
So boom, 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 boom. Okay, now something really nice to calm it down.
Yeah. Because this is an actual album. Like, there's a flow to it, you know?
I know, we're such a singles world now.
Honestly.
And I regret the loss of that because the album should have a flow and direction. It should be a listening experience, and we don't get that as much now with the Spotify world.
Well, and especially here, like even us doing this track by track, being able to talk through the concept of it, a lot of thought goes into putting together a project like this. It's not just whimsical. There's an idea, there's a vision, there's an artistry to it there, and hopefully if you've stuck with us this long, you value those things, and just know that it's there. It's not chaotic. It's meant to be a little more structured and with purpose.
So that finishes the 12 stocking stuffers, the 3-part arrangements that we're doing, which then takes us into the bonus tracks, which are more.
Full length, yeah. So these are full length songs.
Full-length songs.
Let's see, 2 originals and then 1 remake, I think, from classics.
So let's
My
start though. So
favorite.
Let's start it.
So the track 13, I'll take over for a second here.
Take over.
Okay, California Christmas. So I had written this song 3 or 4 years ago with one of my collaborators I work with in LA named Alice Bagnola, and we do a lot of fun, silly projects. And she had always told me how the holidays were tough because she was from Pennsylvania. Her mom always missed her because she wasn't able to come home very often. And just not like it was a sob story. It was just a casual conversation. Like, okay, that resonated with me a little bit. And for some reason, I felt like just writing a Christmas song. And I wrote this with her in mind. So a lot of the references to the song are things that you would go to LA for, trying to be a star, stage and screen, that starlit life, whatever. But also missing and realizing the changes, how you're surfing instead of sleigh bells and stuff, and you miss the frost on the glass. All those imagery things was trying to create out of this one. And I actually really like how the lyrics turned out of this song.
Yeah.
Just gonna,
they're playful.
myself. Yeah,
Fun.
Yeah, not crazy deep or something, but it's fun, but still meaningful. And the chorus was catchy, and so we put that together, and Allie sang it with me. But I always kind of felt I wanted to redo it whenever I did my next Christmas project. And I probably would have, if it was just me, I would have probably done it full a cappella. But with this, I thought, it'd be nice for these bonus tracks to have one with actual instruments.
Yeah.
To change it up a little bit. Plus, it really separates the bonus tracks from the main course of that.
does.
It makes a nice dividing line in that.
It does.
So it's fun to have you guys sing on the project on that one with me and record it and
I liked how it all just kind of evolved there, and the little subtle additions that were added in to make it sound a little more Christmassy. Like, I can hear this as a, when you hear it, you'll hear the chorus, and just like think of like an opening montage to National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation 2026.
a Hallmark movie.
Reach on out, like, hey, this license may be available.
And it was really fun being able to revisit this song and redo some of the stuff from what I did 3-4 years ago. So I redid like my little bell solo in the interlude, and I put real drums on it this time instead of the MIDI drums that were there before, and I was able to clean some of the guitar parts. So it was really fun to be able to revisit that.
Sleigh bells.
And we added sleigh bells. He really wanted sleigh
my
bells.
God. Why isn't it written on here featuring sleigh bells?
It should have been.
Jeff's idea for sleigh.
And actually, Ed Boyer mixed this one, the one that Ed did. He said he was more happy with his mix now than he was 4 years ago. So this is way better. Thanks. He was glad that we got to redo it.
Oh yeah, nice.
That was cool.
That's artistry and growth as well.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. Which leads us now then to track 14.
Yay! Look
Yeah.
who we have.
So I didn't even tell you guys at first, I think, as we were doing this project, I just messaged you and I said, I want to do an original album track on this. And then I told you guys, Jamie and I are gonna do one. You're like, yay, great, love it.
Yeah.
So how this started, you sent me instrumental first, from my memory. Tell me if I'm remembering.
Yeah, I'm sure. I had played out. Here's the
Like a
chord
thing.
structure I'm thinking of for this new song.
Sent it to me. I did some like melodies on top, and then we sent it back and forth.
Yeah, this was fully remote this time.
These
Yeah.
two are incredible. Putting their skills together, it's like a Captain Planet for acapella magic.
So if I was
With your
running-
powers combined, seriously. I mean, it's like watching you guys create is so inspiring at this point. You know, Jamie's got this incredible ability to hear melodies and to craft and create, and you know, Chris will interlude with different ideas of what we're taking in this direction. Jamie's like, yeah, it's like a constant yes and until you just get to this awesome end product here. It's really been impressive to watch you guys collaborate.
Yeah, we
Yes,
just
and is the we were talking about this
Yeah.
before too. Like yes, and is the best type of collaboration.
Yeah.
Where it could be like, yes, and no, but yes, and you
Correct,
just keep
yeah.
on.
Yeah, yes and is
Keep
not
refining it.
yeah, exactly. It's not saying no. It's just all right, hold on, let me understand where you're coming from. All right, I see that. Well, let's refine it just a little bit more. And yeah, just keeps
Yeah.
building.
I thought the idea of like a long distance Christmas could be a cool story to tell. And I was like, ooh, what if it's like a partner that they're doing long distance? And I told Chris, and he's like, yes, but what if it's Santa?
right. That's right.
Yeah.
I said
And I'm like, oh, that's so much. Yes, and that's so
Yes,
much
and.
better.
Yeah, that's
Like,
right.
of course, it has to be Santa.
Yeah, he's writing a long distance relationship with Santa. She's writing letters to him and everything. Yeah,
And
that's something
just
built
like
in.
that idea you sparked, and I was like running with it. Like,
Yeah.
this is the cutest thing. Letters to Santa, and we really like the idea of not revealing that it's like little kind of what is it
Yeah,
called? Like
little
Easter
hints.
eggs,
Yes,
little
yeah,
hints,
yeah, yeah.
and then it reveals. Well, we never actually say
No.
Santa in the song.
No, we
right?
never
We don't. I mean, the allusions are pretty clear if you
Yeah.
listen to it there. But there's also enough ambiguity that you know if somebody wants to read into it for a love song between two people, you can absolutely do that too. Otherwise, it's just a love song to
Maybe
Santa.
she's in love with someone who is a Santa character at the mall.
That could be
Could
it.
be.
There-
There's many interpretations.
And when we first were writing this, it was going to be for us, and then I think I said, let's have you do it. Let's have you sing it. We'll make it an a cappella track. This is great. Yeah, we'll have you involved
Yeah,
together.
I'm so happy it was acapella too.
Yeah. You really had to twist our arm to want to work with you. Yeah, we
It was so
figured-
much fun and
She's
recorded
so great.
remotely.
She's
Yeah,
so great.
all remotely. We tweaked the tempo a couple times to get where we
We
wanted it to be, and
did,
then
we did.
we were changing the lyrics. I remember I
Oh
was
yeah,
driving.
there was one that you were like, what was
It was the bridge. It was-
specific
it was
one. I'm
really
like,
the
yes, we
bridge.
have to. Yes, and we have to change that.
You know, then again, there it comes into the process of creating all these songs. This wasn't that dissimilar to even Open Road, you know, our first album that Chris and Jamie wrote together there. You know, they started and they created the bulk of it there, and then I'm able to step in with fresh ears and say, well, okay, what if we polished it in this way? And they'll say, no, we already thought about it, and this is why we did it this way, which makes you go, okay, got it. Or in some cases, we
It's like
and
we
found
didn't
some
even
channels.
think about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just
Having
talked
fresh
about that
ears.
in our the Open Road track by track about how it was so wonderful then to show a draft project for you. Like, here's the first draft of the song.
Yeah.
We've got to this point. What's resonating with you? Because we get so lose the forest for the trees sometimes. We're
Oh,
so
totally.
into it. We've heard it 10 times, so it makes sense to us. But
And also, thinking about that, if there's also all of us in the room at the one time, you get too many conflicting ideas at that point. Too many good ideas, but conflicting perspectives. Sometimes you just never make any progress on it there. So, yeah, but this was great. Again, a lot of fun.
I love
A lot of
this
fun.
one.
Well, now it brings us to.
Holy night.
this is acapella history
It
for us
is,
a
yeah.
little bit.
This
As
is.
a little Jewish girl growing up, this was my jam.
Oh,
The
okay.
NSYNC arrangement, like slayed me.
So in 98, 99, I don't know exactly when they did this album, but they did a Christmas album. And honestly, a lot of it was fairly forgettable, but they did this a cappella track on the album, and it was just fantastic. It was
Stands the test of
underappreciated
time.
because it wasn't, outside of the a cappella nerds, it wasn't a huge deal.
Which is,
So good.
yeah, I mean, the arrangement itself is so strong.
Yeah.
And of course, NSYNC being NSYNC, I mean, they just took it and ran with it and just made it that iconic song that it is, especially to the majority of us here. But, got the idea to do this again, but originally what we were thinking was it was going to be, you know, us pulling in some other, you know, male voices that we had worked with.
Yeah,
And-
honestly, we talked about having Adam Bastine and his husband Jerome, which
Yep.
we've worked with before,
Yep.
have the five of us do it. No, that'd be
right.
great. But
That's
then,
right.
You know, then he got hired by Home Free, and
Yeah.
he's so busy doing his stuff.
Yeah,
like, I
yeah,
can't get a
yeah.
hold of this guy anymore. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, so then we were planning out how we were going to record this, and originally it was slated that I was going to do the high falsetto part at the end, the Chris Kirkpatrick part there. And we're, you know, starting to sing it through, and I'm like, all right, I can do this. But at one point, I looked over at Chris and was like, hey, man, can we call Jamie in on this one here? Because I think she would just melt this part, like just crush it. And he was like, we'll give her a call.
We could try that. I guess let's see what she wants to do.
But so then that changed things up there. So we had our 4 parts, but this is a 5-part arrangement. And so we're like, who in the world can we call that could step right in and really take this to the next level?
Ray Parker from Ghostbusters.
Enter in a dear friend of ours, Jam Claxton. And I'll tell you what, the first idea came up, all right, what if we ask Jam to do this with us here? He's got just this incredible timbre to his voice, like such a pure, unique, inviting sound. And not to mention, he's an artist. He's one of the most professional individuals that I've ever had the privilege of working with here. I think, you know, Chris has the same experience there. Any room or any project I've ever been part of with Jam, he's the most prepared in the room.
He's good, yeah.
And he's just rock solid. So he came in, met with Chris, and he's like, you know, call him up. He's like, absolutely, I'm in. And he came in and recorded with Chris, and Chris sent out what he had done with his part. And I listened to it. He didn't prep me for anything. I threw a shoe. Like,
Yeah.
he hit a couple of these different tweaks and changes, and I was just like, I didn't know that this could be any better. And then here comes Jam to just elevate it to a whole new level. So it was perfect.
He sang that.
Yeah, he did. God, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, and just love how the whole thing. It was fun for me to sing the full bass part for the whole thing too. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And then I can't even tell you how much editing time I put on this song because I was so into it, loving it.
Yeah.
And once you start editing, you just get down that rabbit hole and you get more and more refined. You're like, oh, this little cutoff needs to be just a little bit. And that breath a little bit loud right there. Oh,
You sent me like a million versions.
and you're like, they sound the same to me. I don't know what the difference is. Like, no, they're different. I tell you.
But it's so tight. Listening
Yeah.
to I honestly like listen to that on loop in my car when I'm driving to shows.
Yeah, so I mean, a great way to end the whole album too.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, totally.
solid way to do it. So yeah, so that is
There we
we
go.
3. You know, our good buddy Johan did the artwork for this again. I love how that turned out on both sides. He's so wonderful to work with. He's out of Sweden. He's been on all my graphic design for the last 8 years.
It's a good dude.
Yeah, we're just excited to get this out to everybody now and celebrate the Christmas cheer and stuff with our project.
Yeah.
So again, thank you, Jamie, for joining us on the
Thanks.
album and our little
Yes.
track.
Thanks for having me.
She's legit.
Yeah.
There's-
And thank you for sticking with us here as we kind of talk through the thing that we love the most in this world. And hopefully you enjoyed it, you got a little something from it, and got to know us a little bit better as well.
Absolutely. All right, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.